This is what my brain looks like, or at least what I want it to look like. You see, for the past few weeks, every single time I started to work, I just kept getting distracted and I couldn't focus for more than 2 seconds. Whenever I started to work, some random thought popped up in my mind and it broke me out of my flow state. This is what I thought my brain looked like. But in reality, what it really looks like is something like this. So I sit down to work and I get a random thought about the gym. And then a random thought about Muay Thai. And then lunch, dinner, some random high school memory, some cute girl that I saw at the gym. And then this thought and that thought and like all these other stuff. All of these thoughts keep popping up in my mind. And as a result, I can't focus on work anymore. If this is what my mind looks like, do you think I'm going to be able to build a successful business? Do you think I'm going to be able to retire my parents? And if, let's say, I'm competing with a guy whose mind looks like this, all he has in his mind is just one thought, which is the work. If I was competing with this guy and he was only thinking about work, while I was thinking about all these random stuff, who do you think is going to be the better entrepreneur? Who do you think is going to make a lot more money? Who do you think is going to be more successful in business and in life? It's going to be this guy, right? My brain is fucked. And if you're watching my videos, if you've been following me for a while, then chances are that you're someone who wants to be successful. You're someone who has ambition, someone who has goals. But if this is what your brain looks like, you can say goodbye to all your goals because it's not going to happen. My brain is fucked. And in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 things that I'm going to be doing for the next 30 days to unfuck my brain. So if this is what your brain looks like as well, watch this video to the end. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Sakib and I am a 22-year-old entrepreneur who is on a mission to retire his parents and in that process, become the most successful, attractive, and confident version of himself. So if you want to be a part of my journey and watch me retire my parents, scroll down and click on the subscribe button. With that being said, on to the advice. The reason why my brain, and probably your brain as well, is fucked is because of 3 things. It's Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok videos. Here's what happens when we're actually consuming those content. We usually give around the videos around 5 seconds to be entertaining and catch our attention, and if it doesn't, we scroll past and basically go to another video. Think about how we're training our brains by doing that. If we're giving something only 5 seconds to be interesting, and if it's not, then we shift our attention, then think about that the next time you sit down to work. If your work is not interesting and doesn't hold your attention for more than 5 seconds, you're going to start doing something else. You're going to stop working. You're going to start entertaining a random thought. If you're training your brain to only give something 5 seconds before you decide to do something else, then you're never going to get your work done. And that is precisely what happens when you've been scrolling on TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts for way too long. That's exactly why short form content is so dangerous, because you're training your brain to only give something a few seconds to be interesting and hold your attention. And if it doesn't, you're going to shift your attention somewhere else. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you're doing that with Instagram Reels and TikTok videos and YouTube Shorts, you're going to do the same thing with your work as well. If it doesn't hold your attention or if it doesn't stimulate your brain, you're not going to do it. So you're not going to get any work done. And this is precisely what's been happening to me for the last few weeks. I mean, it's no wonder I haven't retired my parents yet. Here is what I'm doing to fix this. The first thing that I'm doing is retraining my mind. If the reason my mind is like this, if the reason my brain is like this is because I've been training it to only give something 5 seconds before switching tasks, then I need to start retraining my brain to spend more than 5 seconds at one task before I decide to do something else. Again, like I said, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So I'm going to start retraining my brain to spend at least 30 minutes on every single task before I decide to do something else. So when I'm sitting down to work, I'm going to spend at least 30 minutes and do 30 minutes of solid deep work before I actually decide to start doing something else or entertain one of my other thoughts. Now, I know I cannot get a lot of work done in 30 minutes, but I have to baby step myself. I have to slowly retrain my brain. I can't go from 0 to 100 in like 2 days. So I'm going to start with 30 minutes, and then after maybe a week or maybe 2 weeks, I'm going to go for 60 minutes, then 90 minutes, and then I'm going to go from there. And this is exactly what I'm going to be doing to retrain my brain to focus. The second way I'm going to unfuck my brain is through meditation. Now, this is a very obvious one, and you've probably seen this coming. But 2 years ago, I used to meditate very consistently. And as a result, I was a lot more clear-headed and focused. But ever since I stopped, now that I think about it, I have been very distracted. I can't focus on something for more than 5 minutes. Whenever I'm talking to someone, I'm speaking very fast. And as a result, I'm out of breath a lot more. I am not present in the conversation. I'm always in my head. I'm always thinking about the next thing I'm going to say. And all this happened because I stopped meditating. I stopped being present and being focused. And even when I'm filming these videos, I keep speaking very fast. Like, a lot of my friends told me that playing my videos at 1.25x speed is the same as playing other people's videos at 1.5x speed, which was mind-boggling to me because I didn't realize how fast I was speaking. And that is because I was nervous. That is because I was not focused. That is because I was not present. I was speaking fast, and as a result, I was also running out of breath a lot more. And these 10-minute videos used to take me 1 or 2 hours to film. All these happened because I was not clear-headed, because I wasn't focused, because I wasn't meditating. So I'm going to start meditating for the next 30 days every single day, and I will let you know the results I get after 30 days. The third way that I'm going to unfuck my brain is through my diet. Now here's what happened. A few days ago, I had sugar for breakfast. And we all know that having sugar will cause you to have a sugar crash. And as a result, you'll start feeling lazy and tired. But here's what also happened. You know how you have those days where you're feeling super confident and you feel like you're on top of the world? But then you also have those days where you're feeling very insecure, you're feeling shameful, anxious, not confident. I realized that every single time I had sugar or I had a bad diet, I started feeling a lot more anxious, shameful, not confident, and insecure. But every single time I started feeling those negative emotions, in order to escape that, I went to my bed and I started scrolling on Instagram Reels or TikTok videos. So this was a double attack. Not only does the bad food and the bad diet cause you to feel foggy-headed and not level-headed, but it also makes you feel so bad that you actually want to escape that feeling. And the way you do that is by going to scroll on your phone and start scrolling on Instagram Reels or TikTok videos. So this is a double attack. And this might seem obvious. Like you might be like, duh, obviously you should not be having a bad diet, which is true. But really ask yourself, the last 21 days or the last 30 days, did you actually have a clean diet? If the answer is no, then sure, it's obvious, but we're still not doing it, right? I feel confident when I have a clean diet. For the next 30 days, I'm going to focus on having a clean diet. Because if I don't, I'm going to start feeling all those negative emotions, which is going to drive me back to scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Instagram. The fourth way I will unfuck my brain is by replacing scrolling with reading. Now, one of my biggest addictions and biggest bad habits has always been scrolling on my phone. And if I'm replacing scrolling with reading, not only will this stop the instant dopamine rush, it will also help me become a lot more smarter and a lot more educated because I'm reading the entire time. And it will help me with my business. It will help me become a lot better as a person. And on top of that, reading also requires you to focus. So I'll be training my focus muscle at the same time as well. And another bonus to this is I will become smart as fuck in a month. And if you haven't watched my how to become smart as fuck video, then go watch that as well. And finally, the last way I'm going to unfuck my brain is by having a screen time of less than 2 hours a day. Again, like I said, one of my biggest addictions, one of my biggest bad habits has always been scrolling on my phone or being on my phone for more than 2 hours a day. If I'm restricting that time to less than 2 hours a day, I will not be doom scrolling, I will be reading a lot more, and I will actually be focusing on my work. Doing these 5 things for the next 30 days will inevitably make sure that my brain is not as fucked as it is now. I'll be doing these 5 things for the next 30 days. And if you think that your brain is fucked too, then do these 5 things with me for the next 30 days. And after 30 days, I'll probably make a video which is going to be titled something about my experience with these 5 things and how my brain actually got better. So if you found this video valuable and you want to follow the journey of a 22-year-old entrepreneur who is on a mission to retire his parents, then scroll down and click on the subscribe button. With that being said, I will see you in the next one.